Hello, my queen of happiness. Thank you for joining me. Hello to all of the listeners out there. Today is Wednesday, October 9th. Shout out to all the Libras out there. We in Libra season. I never met a Libra, well, maybe with the exception of one that I didn't like, but usually me and Libras get along really well. And if you're listening to the recording at a later time, then shout out to you too. And thank you so much. I really appreciate that. We're gonna get started in the next couple of minutes. Chili. Hello, my love.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Queen
afternoon.
Abby, Auntie.
Yes. You know, you are my absolute fave, honey. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You ready to spill that tea today?
You know I am, and I think I got some good tea for y'all too, honey.
Oh, okay, okay.
So we're gonna get the tea after the Sherry update.
What's up, Bernat?
Hello, my Sudanese queen. And while we're waiting to get started, y'all can see that I shared on slide two the a real good time giveaway where you can go in and register and put your email in to see if you can win a trip and put in the word of the day. So go ahead and do it. I already did mine already. So the word of today is suitcase. So SUIT. So hopefully somebody from this group will win that trip to Jamaica.
When is the drawing?
That is actually a good question. I don't know. All I know is it's supposed to be, according to what she said, I think it's a new place every week. I don't even know how, cause she didn't announce, unless I may have missed it, but she didn't announce who won the last one.
Oh, it's more than one trip given away. Okay.
Hmm. So this week is Jamaica. Hey, Twinykins.
Well, well, well. CNN is here.
Okay.
Hi, Bruce. Welcome.
And if you're new here, there are many ways to interact with us. You can interact in the chat. You can shoot us an emoji. You can grab a mic and speak, but don't feel pressure to grab a mic and speak.
We don't have a soundboard though. Hi, Twan.
All right, so let me just go ahead and start with the Sherry tea. We can get that out of the way. So she came on. She had on this really cute. I don't know if that was a cheetah print dress, but it was cute on her. The hair and the makeup was doing it today. And one of the first things she talked about is Ben Affleck. She said Ben Affleck was doing regular stuff because you know how they usually have rich people problems. Ben Affleck had regular people problems while he was on the highway. So she said that it was photos of Ben Affleck on the road. He was stuck on the side of the road because his electric car ran out of juice while he was on the highway. So he had to call for roadside assistance. And then Sherry said, "Well, this is something J Lo would have taken care of."
He ran out of juice.
Hmm. That's why you can't even pay me to own an electrical vehicle, honey. Like you really can't, because then somebody like me, who goes back and forth from North Carolina to New York, that's about a 7.5 to 8 hour drive, and an electrical vehicle only gets you about 3.5 to 4 hours.
Yep.
So that means I would have to stop, and doesn't it take at least an hour to rejuice those cars back up?
Yep. You have to stop and then stop again once you get there and rejuice it.
See, ain't nobody got time for that. And maybe if the juicing was free, then maybe I would feel a different way about that. But you still got to pay to juice up them cars.
Or even maybe 10 minutes max. I think our the supercharger is supposed to be really fast. And then remember Happy was saying you can't, it'll only let you take it down to a certain percentage. You can't
Oh,
fill it
yep.
up to 100%. That's crazy to me.
There's a high speed charge, but you can't get it below 20%. Girl, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got a time. I don't. I can't understand. I mean, unless you know your road trip is going to be about 1 to 2 hours, I don't understand why you would get on the road with an electric vehicle. I don't know.
I
Yeah,
think
and
they're
EV tip.
good for city driving, like going to work maybe. But for highway driving, I think that's the reason most people don't want them, especially as their only vehicle, is because of that. But they're good for daily, driving, especially if you have a charger at home, go to work, run an errand, come home kind of thing.
And Jay says in the chat they only let you get it to 80% normally. See, that's crazy to me.
Why?
That's
Why?
that's
Which,
crazy to me.
yeah, that's.
Well, whatever the case, Ben Affleck didn't know any of this because his behind ran out of the juice while on the highway, so had to wait for roadside assistance.
Mm-mm. You see
Then,
stories of people getting locked in the cars and are locked out because they're out of juice and all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't. They had a car hit a culvert in a Tesla and it caught fire. It took them the longest to identify that person because he was burned to a char.
oh my God.
He ran into a culvert and the car pretty much it just exploded, and it took them a while to identify him. Yep. So the fire hazard on a wreck is high as well.
Mm-mm. Well, I'll keep that in mind the next time I'm shopping for a vehicle, and I'm like 99% sure my next vehicle will not be an electric one. If y'all see me in an electric vehicle, that means somebody else done paid for
Or you got two cars.
it. Right, or I have two cars. And then so Sherry went on to talk about how Tia Mara, Tia Mara shows just premiered, and she pretty much is talking about her ex, and she was saying how Corey was her first. So she was a virgin up until she met her ex-husband, and he was the one who took up it. I hate to
Oh,
say this, and I, when it the thing about religion and how it robs girls of experience in life, like I just how can I say this without sounding like an asshole? I don't find it to be admirable. Like you being a virgin through your 30s and almost 40s and stuff like that, then you get with one, and clearly that didn't work out. So I don't know. I just kind of feel like it kind of because her and Tamara had a very very religious upbringing
right.
that had a lot to do with that. And I just
I'm sure he wasn't a virgin.
absolutely not. I don't know. And now you see how she out here now trying to date, and I think it's cute, but honestly speaking, it looks a little awkward for her. Like you could tell she doesn't really know how to. No, Will said all while their husbands are creeping on Grindr. And baby, I'm glad you said that because I got a story for later on in the show about that.
And then I wonder how it affects her views on her sexuality now, because is she still having an issue with being, sexual without being in a committed relationship? Which each to each his own. I don't necessarily see a problem with that if that's how you want to live your life. Really, um, cuts down on STDs. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, um, there's a price to be paid for having a free sexual society I mean, there's just a lot of STDs that go around, and not just HIV or syphilis and gonorrhea, but there's others, you know, one of which is known to cause cervical cancer, which they have a vaccine for now. But I mean, that's the price you pay. You're sharing the most intimate parts of your body with someone who's sharing them with someone else, and everybody has different body flora, and
Hmm.
so it is what it is.
Yeah, and I would look like, and if the girls were thinking that way, I would totally get it. But what they are thinking is that them being virgins is like linked to purity, and that's what I don't like.
Yeah, attached to a religion.
Hmm.
I get what you're saying.
So what else? Oh, she talked about I'm sure y'all didn't, because I didn't care about. I'm sure y'all won't care about this, but she also talked about Kristen Cavallari saying that she broke up with Mark Estes because of age. I guess she was older than him. Kristen Cavallari was on the heels. Yeah, I really don't agree with that.
How much older?
I totally agree with what Kristen was saying. She was like their boyfriend. She mentioned Madonna with her younger boyfriend, and then she mentioned Patti LaBelle with her younger boyfriend. And oh, the Hills, that both of us really liked. Yes, she's still relevant, girl. She gonna always be relevant.
What were they trying to get married? Like, what was the whole point? Like, did he
I
want
don't know.
children? Did he want a more committed relationship? Or
Don't get me the line, girl,
he
because I
didn't?
didn't really care. I didn't even listen to when she elaborated. I'm like, okay.
Okay, moving along.
Right. So that was pretty much it for her hot topic segment. Then Quinta Brunson came on to be interviewed in her really really cute haircut and her really cute pink jumpsuit. I was able to snap a photo. I don't know how good this photo will be, but I'm gonna go ahead and share it. But the new season of Abbott Elementary premieres tonight. I most certainly will be watching. They moved it to a new time, so I guess I'll be watching in the middle of our workout. But they moved it to 8 o'clock now for this season when it previously used to come on at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Ah,
But there, y'all see, I just shared a photo. Y'all see Sherry's dress I was talking about, and y'all see Quinta's haircut where she said made her feel like Tony Braxton,
she looks cute.
and that she is too adorable. I love it. So, and what Quinta did, she actually gave Sherry her tens. She said she was pretty much telling Sherry that she inspired her more than Sherry realizes, because she was like that you being on 30 Rock inspired me to do what I do, and inspired me to make the comedy show and stuff. I love what you did. Like, you were so good in that show, and you weren't even a regular cast member, but the show that the what you did on there was impactful. So I thought that was sweet of her. And lastly, with the Sherry show, y'all remember I mentioned on Friday where Sherry over the weekend went to that lady Lorene Hampton and celebrated her 100th birthday party.
Hmm.
So Sherry actually invited Lorene to come on the show and talk about that. So that was pretty much the end of. Other than Quincy, I ain't gonna lie, Sherry was a little boring today. Okay, enough about that. Let's get to the truth, honey.
Tea time.
Tea time. So I always like to start off with some Diddy news, as y'all know. And if y'all haven't read yet, Diddy is working on his third appeal on getting bail. Now, this is actually interesting, and I actually want to wonder how this is going to turn out. And I need to contact some of my lawyer friends and be like, hey, what does this mean? And does the defense attorney have an argument? So basically, what it says is that the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office successfully argued to a judge that Combs was a serial abuser and a serial obstructor who could intimidate witnesses or even flee before his trial. But the defense lawyer, her name is Alexandra Shapiro, claimed that the government's arguments about the risk of obstruction were based on speculation, resting mainly on untested allegations about communications with witnesses in civil cases and communications initiated by the supposed witnesses and not Mr. Combs. The sensationalism surrounding his arrest has distorted the bail analysis. Mr. Combs was not released on the pending trial, even though he offered to comply with restrictive conditions that would have prevented any conceivable risk of flight or danger. So his attorney, and the attorney is doing what she's supposed to do. But she was saying that the they made the first two decisions to deny him bail based on speculation. So I'm wondering how she's gonna like prove that, because I think the U.S. prosecutors kind of defended their their case beyond a reasonable doubt. Like
They can
he,
prove he communicated with potential witnesses, or
yeah, I think so. Because especially with Kalina coming out, saying that he done called her like 54, 55 times.
oh
So,
yeah,
so I I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, they still working on it. We haven't gotten an answer yet. I imagine that, like I said before, this third appeal is going to be a no go as well. But the attorneys gotta do their thing and get their money's worth. So we'll see how this plays out. Justin Bieber, his people speaking out. Oh, wrong article. Oh, go ahead, Will, while I get this other article.
Oh, no problem. I was gonna say I actually had a change of heart about Kalina. And I'm gonna extend her grace about the situation because I'm not sure if you all familiar, but there was a contestant. Her name was Dominique. She was on Making the Band with Danny Kane. She didn't make it, unfortunately.
Yes, that little cute round faced girl who can sing her butt off.
Yeah, and so Oliver Twix, who I mentioned previously, he's been in touch with Babs Bunny and Dominique of all people, and she said something that was really eye opening because they spoke about the Diddy stuff or what have you and her experiences in the music industry, etc. And she said, you know, with Kalina being a mother and being a wife, we don't know essentially what type of pressure she was under to make said statement, considering the reach that he has. Yes, it could have been money as well. However, if you think about it, would she put Dawn's reputation over the safety of her family? And naturally, the answer to that would be no. So when she said that, I was like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. So essentially, I understand that Kalina potentially had to do that in order as a means of survival. Which is unfortunate that he had to put her in that type of situation. But yeah, Dominique opened my eyes. So shout out to her.
Oh, I'm glad you shared that because now I'm looking at it like, because at first I was kind of side eyeing Kalina, but now that yeah, do I need to throw Dawn under the bus or do I need to keep my family safe? Like that's really what it is. And as a mother bear, she gonna keep her family safe. So I hate it, like you said, I hate it had to come to that. So it looks like Justin Bieber shares the same sentiment, honey. Did it? I wonder if did it come up yet? Oh, did I share this New York Post link twice? I'll delete one. My mistake. I was trying to share the Diddy and Justin Bieber article from US Weekly. I'm gonna try to share this one more time. If it doesn't share, then I'll just share my screen. There we go. So number and y'all remember that that book that's no longer available on Amazon alleged that Diddy was messing around with a quote unquote young pop star, underage pop star who was around the age of 16 at the time. And so according to US Weekly, it says Justin has been advised to stay far away as possible from anything and everything related to Diddy. a source exclusively revealed in the latest issue of U.S. Weekly, explaining that Bieber, who was introduced to Diddy as a teen, wants nothing to do with the disgraced musician. This goes on to say the Justin Bieber is focused on his family and is thrilled to be a dad because it's something that he wanted for years. His happiness being a dad has outweighed his anxiety about Diddy. So, so we probably won't get any statements from Justin anytime soon.
There's supposedly, allegedly, one of the tapes that's being shopped around to all of the major news outlets for the highest bidder that uh, has Diddy and Bieber in it. So I don't know how true that is,
Mm-mm.
but that's one of the rumors I've read on Twitter.
Mm-mm.
Well, you have a comment?
Yes, yes. Well, in regards to that tape, like it's a little weird to me because, like, if someone is shopping a tape of an underage person performing sexual acts with someone that is an adult, wouldn't that be considered them purchasing child pornography?
You would think.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
that's weird that how a publication would essentially put themselves at risk. Well, actually do something insanely illegal just to have a story for their publication. That's very weird to me.
Yeah, that is child porn for sure. Get arrested for that kind of stuff. Maybe, and
Mhm.
maybe that's why it hasn't been bought or whatever, or exposed, because it is a sticky legal situation that you would even own that. Hmm, interesting.
So, in the next piece of Diddy news, so who is talking? Mark Curry is talking. And I don't know, y'all probably don't even remember him because I had to remind myself who he was. I was like, oh, him. And from Bad Boys for Life, that song, okay. And it's Mark Curry was the one who wrote a lot of the hits and even toured with Diddy and stuff like that. But what I didn't know is that he actually wrote a book about his experience back in all the way back in 2009. And I'm like, where was I? How did I miss this?
Hmm.
But he was speculating that that the reason, he said he pretty much thinks that Diddy knew all this was coming down on him, and that's why he was pretty much saying what everybody else has been saying all along. That's why he didn't even want to go down there and getting like residuals and royalties from old Bad Boy stuff like that, because he like that's trying to give me back a Nissan that was new back then. You trying to give it to me in 2024. So it says in 2009, Curry wrote a book titled "Dancing with the Devil: How Puff Burned the Bad Boys of Hip Hop," detailing his oftentimes tumultuous experience with working under Combs. Good, he looks good now, honey, especially with that gray beard. Hey, Mr. Curry. And it says, what else it says? Yep, it was then that Diddy made his move that surprised the music industry by returning the publishing rights that Bad Boy owned from its original artists, including Curry, Mace, Cameron, Faith Evans, The Locks, 112, and others. So he pretty much took the Aubrey O'Day route and was like, I don't want that. I want to tell my story. So let's see. While many in the industry applauded Diddy's decision, Curry said he believes the producer already knew the walls were closing in on him. He gave, and I quote, he gave all the artists back their publishing rights in exchange for an NDA to not talk about him because I think he had some kind of idea this was coming down the pipeline. Tried to cover up his tracks real quick and it didn't work. He said
Hmm.
Curry, like I said, Curry equated to getting his publishing rights back like giving you back a Nissan Sentra when it was brand new in 2024. It wasn't even valued in the junkyard. They got smart cars now. So
I think with that, I think Aubrey came out and she did the calculations. Well, in regards to Danny, and I can't speak for any of the other Bad Boy acts, but the royalties in order to sign that document that said that she would not talk about anything regarding him or his mama's wig. Like the monetary value of that was like $900.
You can't even get a fake Birkin bag with that.
Exactly.
Mm-mm. Well, I'm gonna keep y'all updated for as much as Diddy news because I actually got Google alerts for Diddy news. So anything new that comes up that doesn't look like just rambling mumbo jumbo, then of course I'm gonna share it with y'all. Now our next story is pretty much the pot calling the kettle black. So Meek Mill shared because y'all have seen Jaguar Wright was on Piers Morgan and alleged that Jay Z is just as much of a monster as Diddy is, and his time is coming soon. Jay Z's legal team came out and did some work, and now y'all see that Piers Morgan apologized for that.
Had to eat
Mm,
those words.
ate him, honey, and you know Piers, the last thing he does is apologize.
Hmm.
So you know that they must have put the fear of Jesus in him, honey.
Well, I mean, she has no basis to say those things. So, yeah, that we
So
know of.
pretty and so exactly. And it says so. And Meek Mill agrees with you. He says Jaguar Wright is like Quilly speaking for Philly. And why do these people have more of a voice than the thoroughbred people? I actually had to look who Quilly was because I'm not familiar, but apparently that's a rapper that's from Philly that he and Meek don't have a really good relation from what I gather. Oh, happy! Thank you for that news. So his mom and his twin girls visited him yesterday. Oh, well, that's good to know. And Meek Mill also thinks Jaguar is crazy, but it's like, who was Meek to call anybody that? Because the same man who's sitting there eating fries off his wet thigh while he was sitting in the pool can't tell me nothing about nothing.
Did his mama say her little puffy ain't no monster? I'm
Yeah.
like, girl, I know a mother's love, but she's supposed to defend her son. But yeah, even though she know he lied about abusing Cassie, because we all saw the tape.
Hmm.
But this is, I think, a big problem with parents not willing to believe that their children do heinous things. Just love him quietly, mom.
Yep. And I wanted to thank Will because Will, I don't know if y'all remember when we were talking about Ari Lennox in a previous show. He kind of elaborated because he's been following her career and all the stuff that she's been going through. So thank you so much for that, Will. And I have another story to share today. It was kind of sad, and I feel so bad for her. But she actually just had to cancel a show in LA due to low ticket sales.
Who, Ari?
Ari Lennox, yep.
Oh,
And unfortunately, she even was saying on live, look, I'm willing to do something strange for a piece of change. I just need to pay off this debt, honey.
oh.
Oh, Happy said in the comments that that tape is so damning, and you are absolutely right, Happy. And just imagine, like, if the public didn't see that for their own eyes. The way they would have kept defending Diddy, like when I read the allegations at first, I didn't even need a video to show me anything because what was alleged was bad enough. But some people are visual learners, so
Right,
whatever.
right. And
But
that's only
prayers up to Ari.
one of the instances of him beating her and doing the things he did to her. There's many more, you know.
Hmm.
Oh, the poor Ari.
I didn't even know she was having a show, so it wasn't promoted properly either. Then, because people would definitely
Hmm.
show up to see her because she's a very talented singer. So it's unfortunate, but I definitely think that she'll be able to bounce back from this.
I
I
hope so.
think so too, and I think she has a bit of faith too, because she was even saying how like she might need to just like stay in DC and perform in DC for a while, because she know her DC people would come out and show love.
Yeah, but that's not the big bags. If you can't, you know, pack those arenas, I wonder if it was just her supposedly on the show or someone else too.
I can Google real quick. Let me see. Ari Lennox. Who else was supposed to come in there with her?
Some of these artists just get so abused and used in this business. It's sad to see it go down, you know. It happens a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately. So this is called the Fem It Forward show. Let me see who was supposed to be in it with her. I'm only seeing her name. Let me see more info.
Mm.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it was gonna have Duran Bernard as well and Destin Conrad, who I'm not familiar with. Are any of you familiar with Destin Conrad?
Mm-mm.
No, but I'm
Okay.
sure he's lovely.
Yep. He looks a little zesty. Well,
Hmm.
I would imagine so if he's in the Femme Forward show. Okay.
The tickets were only like between $30 and $50. That's very weird.
Couldn't even sell that. Oh my
I'm sorry.
god. I didn't mean it that way, but damn. Oh my god.
Oh,
That's kind of fucked. That's kind of messed up.
yeah. Well, that's another Aries queen right there. So shout out to her, and I really hope she gets through to the other side of this. She's so talented, and she deserves.
Yeah, yeah, I like her. Like, I feel bad for her. People out here bumping sexy red. Why can't Ari get some love?
Well, wait a minute, because we can eat tacos and have a beer at the same time. What you mean? Let me
Well,
stop.
that's
Right.
what I'm saying. Like, why can't they both get some love?
No,
What?
Auntie, some of us don't want heartburn. Okay.
Oop, oop. Well, somebody else who about to have heartburn, honey, if they don't pay up. Nicki Minaj and her husband, her predator husband. So, so much Nicki
Oh,
news has happened after the. So I had to remind myself about this, but they were sued because of, her husband's attacked the security guard while he was in, I think they were in Germany, I believe. But he was awarded a $500,000 settlement for that. They haven't paid him. He was rewarded that for quite some time. Now they haven't paid him yet. So he went back to sue, saying, they owe interest now, and the interest amount is $22,752.72. So that's they looking to add that interest on top of what's already owed. And it says a recent report from In Touch Weekly claims Thomas Weidenmuller filed a new motion against the spouses, claiming they owe him an additional 22 plus $1,000 in interest as they continue to evade payments on the settlement. As we recently covered, the plaintiff submitted a complaint against Nikki and Kenny Pettit last month, urging the court to get involved, as he still hadn't received any money, any of that settlement money. So, and y'all probably saw over the weekend or over the past couple of days, honey, that terrible concert. I forgot where she was at, but Nikki was giving her husband a lap dance, and he was just sitting looking so awkward and so stupid and so
yeah.
dumb.
I thought about them, and I'm like, this man, if she leaves him, she would have to pay him alimony. Because what does he do? Is she like stuck with him because she would have to pay him? You know, she's in that situation. He doesn't do anything but be married to her. He has no visible means of support. So, is this why she continues to stay with this loser?
That's a good point. You might be onto something.
Or could it be an issue of immigration? Because we do know that Nicki Minaj is not a U.S. citizen.
Oop, oop, wake it up.
Well, that too. So that's
No.
two strikes. I don't know.
You just couldn't. If I learned that somebody had to serve time in jail for raping someone at knife point, I'm not going to marry that person like willingly, like Nikki did. It's just
Yeah. Why did
uh,
she even marry him? I don't
mm,
understand that part. He had that record before they got married.
well,
It's
child.
weird. He seems weird. Just you never hear him talk. He just stands by her side and gives a goofy smile. Sometimes a goofy smile.
Hmm.
You never hear
And when
any.
he does talk, it's not smart, honey. I remember what was it was a video of him threatening somebody, one of his ops or somebody, and I'm just
Mm,
like, honey, you still on probation. You literally are wearing an ankle monitor. You really think that's a good idea?
And on top of that, Nikki stood idly by while that person dropped the F bomb in a video.
Exactly.
And she just sat there and laughed. Like, interesting.
Hmm.
what does he got? What does he have? What is it? You would think she had more sense than that, but I guess we attribute a lot of common sense to people who make money, but it's not often the case. We see it repeated over and over.
Like she's the type of person that has sat idly by and co-signed when her fans were downright harmful to people just because she had beef with them and she did. Yeah, yeah, like money and success, they don't buy like a higher access to a way of being. We've seen it time and time again.
Hmm.
It just highlights who they already are inside, and what we've seen is not great.
No, her fans off the chain. They're crazy.
Well, hey Bianca. So no apologies needed, baby. Thank you for being here, whatever time you are here. And what you have missed so far, we just finished talking about Nicki Minaj. Ari Lennox had to cancel a show. Meek Mill is still stupid. And we shared some Diddy, like some update Diddy news. His his legal team is still trying to get him out of jail and trying to get bond for a third time. So we waiting to see how that's gonna play out. And Happy shared, so last Monday's chat about that Joker 2, $200 million to make, and it only got 38 million in the box office. Exactly. How the director refused to work with the DC heads and Zaslav.
Good.
Direct right.
They panning that movie all over the place. Nobody likes that movie. Musical, whatever the hell it's supposed to be.
I just want to know what do they expect? Because like I said, the first one was boring in itself, and it really didn't even get good until like the very last few minutes when he shot that man in the face on live TV. But that movie was I did not get the hype. But then again,
At
maybe it was
all.
because I think a lot of white men saw themselves in him, I guess. I don't know.
It, a musical, really? I mean, if
Yeah.
you can watch the trailer, I remember telling y'all how boring the trailer was. Like, and they didn't let anybody preview it before they released it, which tells you they knew it was a dud.
Yep. I saw on Twitter someone speculated they were saying how like they purposely made it because they saw how much of a the first one got like a following of incels and people who related to the Joker and stuff like that.
Mm,
So they said that they purposely did the musical for the second one to kind of take things to a different direction. But I don't know how true that is, but
I saw that too. Well, that's a very expensive method.
hmm you know what else is very expensive, honey?
What?
Melania Trump and her new book that just came out. So she says in her new book that I think the book just came out yesterday. And I don't plan on reading this book, but I'm sure a lot of people will be talking about it. And in this book, she alleges that she nor her son Baron can get a bank account because of her husband. It's like, go ahead, Will.
Uh, First question: can she actually write?
You know she didn't write that. Stop
Can she read? We've never seen. Okay, carry on.
it. Yeah,
Child.
couldn't even write her own speech.
And
Yeah.
so Baron is now 18. You know, he stands at 6'7". But she says that she didn't name the bank who did it, but she said that she was denied a new bank account because of a political quote unquote cancel mob, and she had some serious concerns about her civil rights violations.
Mm,
Says
She she should call
this
Mark.
decision appeared to be rooted in political discrimination, raising. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, Auntie. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh, you good? Good. I was just reading what this said because
Oh,
I wanted to hear what you was gonna
I was
say.
gonna say she should call Martin Luther King then, if she's having civil rights issues.
mm. Did she talk about how her little son is an asshole? Did she talk about that?
I don't know. She might.
He got real problems. He got more problems than Donald Trump Jr. and all the rest of the uh, Trumps. That boy is mental.
Hmm.
Like he's really got problems. One of the reasons she supposedly stayed in New York for so long was because they couldn't find a. Uh oh, what happened to Auntie? Okay, you're back. After the first time Trump ran was because they couldn't find a school that would accept him because of all the problems he had been causing.
Hmm.
Been a problem. I think that account Mr. Weeks has exposed a lot about that kid.
Yep. And I hope he continue to expose some more.
Yeah, he's crazy, which
Ooh,
is not a surprise, really.
it's really not. And the people were sitting there. I remember like when Byron first like came known to the public or whatever. Like when he was, I remember say right what 2015 or so. And people was like, oh, he might be like another Tiffany Trump. He might be the normal one out of the family. And I'm like, what?
Mm,
What?
mm.
Right? How did y'all come to that conclusion? Because for what I'm seeing, it looked like he might be even worse than his daddy.
I think Tiffany is probably the only one. Well, I don't think Ivanka is crazy because you notice she hasn't been anywhere to be found during this campaign. Like she is
Hmm.
totally incognito. She's not doing this again. She went there with the first term. She's not doing it again. She knows her father is crazy.
Hmm. Crazy and into her sexually, allegedly.
You know what?
Yeah.
It's to tie it back the Diddy stuff. I actually found like a intersection between the Diddy stuff and this.
Oh.
I often think because if you recall, um, Aubrey O'Day, who was part of the group Danny Kane, who was on Diddy's label, she did Celebrity Apprentice, and she had a very public affair with Don Jr. And according to her, Don Jr. essentially said that he was going to leave his wife for her and that type of thing. So my thing is, with everything that was going on, and Aubrey had stated like, she was going to change him or what have you. I find it difficult to believe that she would have that type of influence over Don Jr. considering everything that's going on with the Trump family. So sometimes I often think about, what, had things gone Aubrey's way and she was with Don Jr., would she be sucked up into the crazy as well? But I guess we'll never know.
Well, everyone around them seems to be sucked up into it. Look what happened to, what was his girlfriend's name? I don't even think he's messing with her anymore because we never see them together. Um, what's her name?
You know, I forgot.
Because she looked crazy as hell compared to how she used to look.
The
She
only thing
lost.
he's really married to is cocaine. That's it.
She's deep into the Kool Aid, and I don't think she wanted that life really. There's no other way. You either get sucked in or you get out. Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Oh, okay.
You see how nuts she looks now?
Hmm. Well, let's see. I don't think so. The next story, I don't know if y'all will be able to see this because it looks like it wasn't showing up on my phone, but now that I click the link on my laptop, it looks like it's behind the paywall. But remember when we touched on Garth Brooks and how he's being
Oh,
accused of sexual assault by his hairstylist, and he's actually countersuing, and in the countersuit he because in the original lawsuit she wanted to keep her name anonymous, so they identify her as Jane Roe. So he actually names her in this new like this countersuit.
mm,
He names her. Then she was like, "Okay, you want to play? Let's play." So she then released text messages between her and Gardner.
mm.
Yes, girl, and I'm about to share those next. Oh, I might is I don't like the way this preview looks, so I might have to just share my screen with this one,
Oh, they playing chess, not checkers now.
baby, and is so. And this is oh yeah, page 6. I just realized, but yep. So Garth Brooks, rape accuser, releases message in an attempt to prove he pressured her to sext him. And I'm gonna go down to the actual
Well, we can't see anything. We see a
I don't
blank
know if
screen.
it proved that we will, but I don't know if it proved that she was pressured. And let me see if I can find it really quick. You see a blank screen,
Now
and
it's up
that's
there.
all of you who see a blank screen.
It's up there now.
Okay, cool. No, and I don't think it's y'all at all. I think my laptop is being funky.
We're on page six. It's graphic
I'm
as
sure.
it
Where
should.
is that picture of that text? Yeah. No, here it is. So it's you don't even see all of the message because some of it was cut out, but it says you see how it says redacted. It says warm fat and that huge stick you carry, Roosevelt. I'll take that nickname. Thank you. I love you.
Huh.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. So that she released a screenshot of that text. I guess that was an attempt to prove that she was pressured. I don't know if that proves that she was pressured, but I do. It definitely proved that they had inappropriate relationship with each other. And why did you call it giving him nickname
Yeah.
Roosevelt? Whatever. Go ahead, Will.
And why is that font so big? My God. You can read it from space. Jesus.
Well, well, you know, as somebody who's up there in age, an elder millennial, I kind of have my. If you was look at my phone, you probably be like, Auntie, why your words so big? Because I
I
needed to
can't read
see
it. It didn't look like any coercion to me. It looked like consensuality.
exactly. And the last thing I wanted to share about this is Trisha Yearwood is standing by her man, honey, in the middle of all this.
Uh,
So, well, I tried to share her Instagram, but we can look at it together. I'll share my screen again. So her and Garth were in a was in Vegas together, and you see her caption, "Love one another." Hashtag Vegas.
they've been married for quite a few years, so
Uh, yes.
No surprise
So
there.
yes, none at all. So she's standing by her man. So y'all know this another one of them stories I'm gonna continue to follow. So
Yeah,
there's that.
we don't know what people. This may not be his first affair. She may have had an affair. You don't never know what people are doing.
Yeah.
So they're standing by each other.
Now I'm gonna share this next story, and I'm gonna share it along with the poll just to kind of get a feel of the room. And of course, y'all know the polls are completely anonymous, so I can't see if you vote one way or the other. So please answer as truthfully as you can, which I know y'all will. But I just wanted to make sure to say that. So a lot of fans will they're kind of because as we know, Tobey Maguire, who is 49, almost 50, is currently dating a 20-year-old model by the name of is it Lily Chi? Is that her
Mm.
name? So, and a lot of people were kind of like they were defending him because me, I think it's inappropriate. But then again, I try to stay out of straight people business. But a lot of people were defending him, like, "Oh, well, she's a consenting adult. Oh, well, y'all don't say this to Cher, who's 72 and her boyfriend is 29 and stuff like. There's a double standard, is what people were trying to preach. So I wanted to poll the room to see, do y'all think that these fans are on to something? Do you think that there is a double standard, or is this using Cher and her relationship is a false equivalency?
That's none of my
I just
business. That's none of my business.
Well, DiCaprio been doing it for years. He dates them barely legal, so
That's none of my business. It's none of my
you
business.
know, as long as they're of age, I think it's a little.
And truth be told, in certain communities, that is taught. If not to wake it up too much, but yeah, it's taught to do that.
Yeah.
So there's that. But again, that's none of my business. That's none of my business.
uh, well, make it your business and vote in this poll. And of course, remember to submit your response using the submit response on the bottom right after you vote.
The pause really be giving me life.
Oh, and
Everybody's
so
legal.
far it looks like they're tied. The answers are tied so far.
Well, generally, it's men dating young women. I mean, it's more rare for it to be an older woman. But I think in a lot of cases, we don't hear about it because those people aren't famous. Sex tourism, remember, is a big deal with European women going to
Mm-hmm.
the islands and uh, getting these young men, these older European women.
To
But
the
they're
Gambia.
yeah, they're not share, so we don't hear about it as much as far as celebrities. It's more men with young women, but hey, it's out there.
Mm-hmm. So thank y'all for voting. I just want to get y'all thoughts about this. So no, so now as of now, it seems like most of the room feels that this is a false equivalency, which I kind of agree with only because like someone like Cher or anybody that shares age is like past uh they they they're past menopause or they're menopausal, they can't have children, as opposed to Toby and this 20-year-old girl that he could easily impregnate and turn her life in a different direction. You kind of see what I'm getting at. Like it's I don't know if that I think it's a false equivalency, but then again, I'm in straight people business and I need to get out.
Well, a lot of them have that baby for financial security. I mean, maybe they want children, but Why not have it for a damn millionaire? Where you're
Yep.
gonna get paid this amount.
Hell, wake it up, chill, wake it up.
I mean, you know how it goes.
Hmm. Wake it up. And then you'll
At
have
this,
on the other side of it, right? Men, the young men who are dating older women or who are like, oh, they're just attracted to that because that happens apparently in real life. You have their family like wanting to separate that couple because she can't give you kids and she can't do this and that and blah 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 blah. Stay out on people's business. Let them make their own mistakes. This their life. I'm just saying.
fine, okay, gosh.
I mean, we're a product of our environment. What's okay in our society or what's perceived as right or wrong or whatever. In other cultures, I mean, it's different. So the
Yeah.
whole wide world doesn't function in the same way. Like nudity here, you know, is different from nudity in the Congo or whatever. It's you're a product of where you're born, really.
Not
Whew.
even in just the Congo. Nudity here is different than nudity in Europe
But
and
yeah, in
in
Europe,
Asia and
a lot of places, yeah.
you
Oh, for real, girl, take some pictures and send me some. And you know what I want to see.
listen, can I go back to Ivory Coast because baby, the way that they got people walking around, regular people that are model fine, please Jesus, I was up here breaking my neck left and right. Oh Lord.
I love it. And the next story I have for y'all. So y'all remember on Friday where I covered some sports ball news about Jabril Peppers getting arrested over domestic dispute. And remember back then, on Friday, the NFL didn't say anything. They kind of stayed quiet. Well, now they have come out to say that Peppers has been placed on an exempt list.
Mm-mm.
Yup. So because he's on the exempt list, he can't practice nor can he attend games at the moment. And his coach, his name is Gerard Mayo. He came out to say, "I just want to be clear. Any act of domestic violence is unacceptable for us as a team, whether you're a player uh, or a staff member.
You can't
We're
even sit on
wholeheartedly
the bench.
it,
Damn.
girl, right. Is that we're wholeheartedly against any type of domestic violence. I know the organization's position, which I fully support. With that being said, I do think Jabril has to continue to go through due process. We'll see how that works out. The league has put him on the exempt list, and that will give us time to gather more information going forward. At this time, he's not in the building, and we'll talk about that at a time later. As a father of three daughters, I could definitely understand the seriousness of the allegations, and hopefully they're not true.
Was it a girlfriend or a wife or what? I wasn't
I
here.
I can't remember. I can't remember. We know it was a white girl, and we saw that the police had. She came over. She had like scratches and stuff on her arm. I
Hmm.
think it was a girlfriend, but don't quote me. But I think it was a girlfriend.
Okay.
So yeah, there's that on that. He won't be back for quite some time now until I guess the court. Well, he probably gonna settle out of court or something like that. Knowing how this goes.
Another one bites the dust, boy.
That's none of my business. That's none of my business.
Quiz: what sport does he play?
Sports
Soccer.
ball.
Sports ball. I
Sports
was about to say
ball.
soccer.
Oh my God.
Baseball.
Oh my God.
Oh wow. Well, he won't be the first or the last.
You won't. Now, question: does anyone in here watch a show called The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives?
No.
Okay.
The
Well,
only
apparently,
reason the only reason why that I know that show exists is because they showed the clip of the one wife that got the black baby daddy boyfriend, whoever the fuck. That's the only reason I've ever even seen or heard anything about that show. Because I was like, wait, how did that happen?
I've never seen, heard of it. I didn't even know it exists, but apparently it plays on Hulu. And one of the ladies on the show, there's her name is Whitney Levitt or Leavitt. We just call her Whitney Leavitt, and she addresses rumors about her husband Connor's sexuality.
Mm.
And I'm going to mm-hmm. So on the show apparently, and this is I'm sharing the U.S. Week U.S. Magazine link, and it
Oh,
pretty
he's
much
gay.
says hello girl, he looks it. He looks it.
He's gay.
But okay. She claims that he's not. She was she says, and I quote, "Do I need to put out a sex tape or something? Trust me, we're good. Like everything is fine." And then she
Mm.
talked about like how a sex tape helped Kim Kardashian's career. So she was like, "Look at her life. She's a billionaire." But it says after she was asked why fans may speculate Connor's or question Connor's sexuality, Whitney explained she thinks it stemmed from a conversation on the show about his struggle with a porn addiction. In the Hulu series, it was also revealed that he launched a secret Tinder account to solicit not safe for work images. So now the funny thing about this is, and the reason I wanted to share this story, he said he's giving blank profile.
You see
Will
the
is a mess.
do you see the asymmetry in his face that I talk about?
I, I do indeed.
Okay, it's all
I
right.
do
Okay,
indeed.
he's hiding something. One side of his face is totally different than the other.
Yup. And they were saying how so people said that he was on Tinder. Well, wait. So this is what was funny about the story because people, and this is why I love Reddit, honey, because Reddit Reddit users, they was like, well, wait a minute. I use Tinder all the time. You can't share photos on Tinder, but you know where you can share photos on?
Where?
Grinder.
Uh
Ding, ding, ding.
huh.
So there's the Reddit the thread if y'all want. I just shared it if y'all want to see it. It- But I just thought that was hilarious, honey. She really tried to come out and say, "Well, yeah,
Mm,
because he was on Tinder and this, and that." They was like, "Well, how he asking for photos through a Tinder DM? Because you can't do that."
mm.
I bet you if you play the alert song for Grindr, she'll know exactly what it means.
She's heard it before. Well,
Hmm. Oh,
child,
he's talking to his friends. Oh, interesting. Do your text messages sound like that? Okay.
child. Okay, girl.
Okay, girl. And the last story I wanted to share. So I'm sharing a People magazine, People.com post, and it's pretty much talking about how comedian and actress Ali Wong details the romantic way Bill Hader won her heart. And I thought it was so cute. And she was saying how like when it first of all, Bill came up to her like right after her divorce and said, "Yeah, I'm glad you're divorced. That's good for me. I've had a crush on you for quite some time now." And then she like, they exchange numbers and stuff. Then she like sent me like a whole bouquet of flowers that was ready for her and stuff like that. It's just he's very romantic, but she think we stupid, honey. Bill is making her come. That's all that is, and he probably making her come like she ain't never had it before. And the reason that I say that because I don't know if y'all remember Bill's ex, Rachel, what was her name? Rachel Bilson. She never said Bill's name. She never called him out by name, but she said that she never had her first orgasm until she was 38 years old. So then people started doing their little sleuthing online. Well, who was she with at the time when she was 38 years old? And it turns out to be Bill Hader, who she also famously said that, somebody asked her, what do you miss about your ex? And she said, I miss his big penis. So
Mm.
so y'all we can call Bill Hader Arby's because clearly he has the meats and he knows how to use it.
Uh.
That's none of my business. That's none of my business.
That has caught many a woman though. They will overlook a whole lot of stuff if they got the meats and know how to use it.
I don't like pink meat. Amen. Um,
Well, is he
but
not for you?
yeah, but I'm go ahead, girl, Ali girl. Well, how you say her name? She better
Ali
go ahead.
Wong.
She better go ahead, but no, not over here. Not between them and me and Weston. No.
Shout out to Alice. She probably having the best sex of her life right now. I'm telling. And honestly, Bill looked like one of them corny men who know how to throw it down.
Hmm.
Now I won't bust it open for him, but I can see why others would.
Listen, I'm not gonna yuck their yum. They got it. I believe them. I
You
believe
know,
whoever said. I believe it.
you know what, Quinn? I'll say it for you. Yuck.
It works for a while. And then when that wears off, oh well.
I can't even get. I can't even get to that point. So.
Don't be yucking they yum.
So I'm just. Go ahead, girl. You got it, yo.
Well, I hope y'all enjoy all the tea I had for y'all today. Now, just so I'm going to know, I won't be here tomorrow, but I'll be back on Friday at 2 p.m. And before we head, shut up, Will.
We're gonna have
And
to have
before
you.
we head out, did y'all have any tea that I may have missed or anything y'all wanted to share?
Yes, delinquent auntie who's not going to be here tomorrow. But anyway, do you all, if you all follow the Met Gala, they've actually just announced their theme for this year, and it's quite interesting.
Hmm.
So, what was it called? Sorry, I had to get my thoughts here because auntie will be here tomorrow, so I'm a little upset about that. Anyway, so what was it? So the 2025 Met Gala, the theme will be super fine, tailoring black style. And so it's based on the style of black men throughout history. And so Coleman Domingo, Lewis Hamilton, ASAP Floppy, Pharrell Williams, Anna Wintour, and LeBron James will be co-chair of the Met Gala next year. Yikes.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay.
I saw that, and the only thing I can think of is that we're gonna have somebody out here who acting like they don't know the history of blackface, and they're gonna make their skin darker to try to go with the theme. You know how white actors and actresses do.
Cornrows and do-rags about. Yes.
Hmm.
Ah,
So yeah, I saw Will. I was just like,
you're running out of
okay.
ideas, huh?
Hmm.
When in doubt, make it black. That's they quick go to. You know they try to make some coin. When in doubt, make it black. Hate that for us.
Okay. Well, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And does anyone have anything else before we head out?
Mm-mm.
But y'all know I'm gonna say it all the time. I appreciate y'all for chilling with me and listening to me run my mouth about all this tea. There would not be a show without y'all. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and chill with me. We will be back Friday with more tea, and I want to wish you all a fabulous day.
Hmm.
Bye,
So
everyone.
we just gotta be thirsty. We just gotta be thirsty on Thursday. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wake
Thurs-
it up, Quinn. Wake it up.
Thur-
Ew.
Hmm. Yeah.
Thirsty Thursday. Ow.
Drink some
Mm.
water. Bye.